Welcome to this deep dive.
Okay.
Today we're stepping out of our reality and into the world of 2035.
Okay.
Specifically, Chapter 3
Right.
from the Appalachian Guerrillas book.
Right.
We've got a fascinating mix here.
Yeah.
Fiction, futuristic setting, and some pretty raw human behavior.
Absolutely.
Ready to see what we can uncover.
I'm very interested in this one.
Yeah.
Because diving into fiction can be surprisingly revealing.
Right?
It's especially when it grapples with power, survival, and the choices we make when things get tough.
Yeah.
This chapter throws us right into the heart of that.
It kicks off with a vivid dream sequence.
Okay.
A beach, children playing,
Mm-hmm.
and then bam, this ominous threat from the ocean.
Right.
Feels like a classic setup, right?
It is.
Paradise Lost kind of thing.
Yeah, it immediately establishes a sense of vulnerability.
Right.
A world where even peaceful moments are tinged with danger.
Yeah.
It's like the author is setting the stage for a world in constant flux, where security is an illusion.
Then we snap into the real world with Tom,
Okay.
our main character. And let's just say he's not big on pleasantries when there's a knock at the door.
Oh.
Grabbing his gun, confronting those men.
Yeah.
It screams survival mode.
Yeah, there's a rawness to his reaction that's compelling.
Right.
His declaration about not living under weak men again,
Yeah.
coupled with his wife's immediate support, tells us volumes about their world
Yeah.
and the values they cling to.
Right.
Strength, self-reliance. It's almost like a distorted echo
Yeah.
of the American frontier spirit,
Yeah.
but in a futuristic context.
It's fascinating how that frontier mentality seems to transcend time, doesn't it?
It is.
But here it's taken on this almost hyper-individualistic edge.
Right, yeah.
And then wham, we get that mention of the bug man they killed,
Okay.
tied to Elon Musk.
Oh, wow.
Now we're talking futuristic tech, right?
Absolutely. It throws open the door to a world that was once incredibly advanced, perhaps even to the point of artificial intelligence or bioengineering, represented by this bug man. But something has clearly gone wrong,
Yeah.
leading to this sense of societal upheaval
Right.
and a retreat from that advanced past.
So we're not just talking dystopia.
Right.
We're talking about a world grappling with the ghosts of its own progress. And that journey to Mike's place really drives that home.
Yeah.
Overgrown roads.
Yeah.
Yet this robotic bird flitting through the
Yeah.
scene, what's the takeaway there?
It's a powerful juxtaposition
Yeah.
of the primitive and the technological.
Right.
Like, those robotic birds are remnants of a lost era, a constant reminder of what was and what might be. Again,
Yeah.
makes you question
Yeah.
what aspects of our own technology would survive a societal collapse.
And what would we become without them?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Mike. He seems like a kindred spirit to Tom, almost like they speak their own language.
Okay.
With that ape philosophy, what's the significance of that?
Their shared rituals,
Yeah.
the language.
Right.
It points to a deep bond forged in chaos, a rejection of the old ways,
Right.
and an embrace of something more primal.
Yeah.
You could even draw a parallel to philosophical concepts
Okay.
like social Darwinism or tribalism, where strength and loyalty become paramount in the face of societal breakdown.
So they're creating their own rules, their own tribe, in a world that's lost its way. But even within that, there's an undercurrent of ambition,
Okay.
especially from Tom. That conversation about conquering and ruling is pretty chilling.
What's fascinating is the contrast between their shared philosophy,
Right.
which emphasizes brotherhood, and Tom's clear desire for dominance.
Yeah.
He's strategic,
Yeah.
calculating, almost Machiavellian in his approach.
Right.
It begs the question,
Yeah.
does survival necessitate a shift towards ruthlessness?
And where do you draw the line between survival and ambition?
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Let's delve into their encounter with the gray creature.
Okay.
It's not just about violence.
Right.
It's about how the lines between human and something else have become blurred in this world.
Right. The way it's described, almost animalistic, wielding a machete,
Right.
definitely suggests something other than human.
Yeah.
And the casual way Tom and Mike discuss it hints at a world where such encounters are commonplace.
Right.
Almost routine.
Which leads us to one of the most disturbing yet thought-provoking parts of this chapter.
Okay.
The confrontation with the men sent by the mayor.
Yeah.
It's brutal,
Yeah.
but there's a chilling pragmatism to Tom's actions.
Right.
Particularly his decision to spare George.
Honestly, it throws a wrench into the whole survival of the fittest vibe they've got going on.
Right.
Why show mercy in a world that seemingly rewards ruthlessness?
Yeah.
Is it a calculated move, a glimmer of humanity,
Yeah.
or something else entirely?
It's a pivotal moment that reveals the complexities of Tom's character.
Yeah.
On one hand, he's capable of shocking violence,
Right.
dispatching his attackers with cold efficiency. But on the other, he spares George,
Right.
seeing something in him.
Yeah.
A potential pawn, perhaps?
Yeah.
Or maybe a reflection of his own past.
And that's where the chapter ends,
Mm-hmm.
leaving us with a Tom who's both terrifying and strangely compelling.
Right.
He's a survivor, a leader, but at what cost?
It sets the stage for a power struggle
Right.
that goes beyond this small town,
Yeah.
hinting at a larger conflict brewing in the remnants of this shattered world.
Yeah.
And Tom,
Right.
with his link to Elon Musk and the Bugman incident,
Yeah.
seems to be right at the center of it.
It's like he's holding a piece of the puzzle, a key to understanding not just the past, but the future of this world.
Right.
And that's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore the power dynamics at play, the moral dilemmas Tom faces,
Right.
and what it all means for this fragile new world order, struggling to emerge from the ashes.
I'm really interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, me too.
Stay tuned, because things are about to get even more intense.
They sure are. We're back and diving deeper into 2035. Last time we left off with Tom standing on the edge of a power vacuum ready to seize control, but with some serious questions hanging in the air about his methods and motivations.
It's a classic setup, right? The reluctant hero forced into a position of power. But in this case, the hero is a man who's already taken lives, and his vision for the future is anything but utopian.
Yeah, the violence in this chapter is unsettling, and it's not just the act itself, but the way it's become almost normalized in this world. Take that first kill, the gray creature. It's barely even called human.
The description is almost dehumanizing, right?
Yeah.
Animalistic, wielding a machete. It raises questions about what's happened to the human species in this world. Are we dealing with mutations, a new species altogether, or is it a reflection of how far humanity can regress when pushed to the brink?
It's like the author is blurring the lines between human and monster, forcing us to confront our own capacity for both. And then there's the incident with the mayor's men. Tom's cold efficiency in dispatching them is chilling, but he spares George. What's your read on that?
It's a decision that throws a wrench into our understanding of Tom's character. Is it a strategic move? A flicker of empathy? Or maybe, as you suggested earlier, he sees something of himself in George, a younger, more naive version caught in the same brutal game.
And the way he explains the Bugman incident to George, revealing his past connection to Elon Musk, adds another layer of complexity. It positions Tom as someone who's operated at the highest levels of power, someone who understands how to manipulate and control.
It's a classic power move, using information to intimidate and gain leverage. But it also hints at a larger story, a glimpse into the world that existed before the collapse. What role did technology play? What decisions were made that led to this point?
And what does it mean for Tom's vision of the future? He's clearly aiming for control, but what kind of control? Is it about rebuilding or simply replacing one form of tyranny with another?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's a question that's relevant not just to this fictional world, but to our own reality. When societies crumble, who steps into the void? What ideologies take hold? And what are the consequences for those who don't fit into the new order?
It makes you think about the fragility of civilization. How easily order can descend into chaos. And within that chaos, there's this constant tension between individual ambition and the need for community. We see it in Tom's desire for power, but also in Mike's loyalty, his commitment to their shared ape philosophy.
It's a fascinating dichotomy. On one hand, you have Tom, driven by this almost primal urge to conquer and control. On the other, you have Mike representing a more cooperative tribal approach to survival. It begs the question, which model is more sustainable in the long run?
And what happens when those two visions collide? Because let's be real, Tom's ambitions are on a collision course with pretty much everyone else in this world, including his own friends.
The seeds of conflict are definitely there, and that tension is what keeps us hooked. Will their friendship survive Tom's rise to power? Or will the allure of control ultimately corrupt even the strongest bonds?
It's a question that goes beyond survival. It's about the essence of humanity, what we're willing to sacrifice in the pursuit of power and what we lose in the process.
And let's not forget the role of technology. We've got these tantalizing hints of advanced tech scattered throughout the chapter, the robotic bird, the mention of pods. It's like the ghost of a lost civilization, a reminder of both the potential and the perils of progress.
It's a theme that resonates deeply in our own time, right? We're living in an era of unprecedented technological advancement, but there's also this underlying anxiety about the potential consequences. Are we creating a world that's ultimately unsustainable? A world that could lead to its own collapse?
That's the unsettling parallel this chapter draws.
Yeah.
It's what makes it so thought-provoking. 2035 isn't just a story about survival. It's a cautionary tale about the choices we make, the technologies we embrace, and the potential for those choices to shape our destiny, for better or for worse.
So we've got this backdrop of societal collapse, this looming threat of technological overreach, and right at the center of it, we have Tom, a man grappling with his own demons, driven by ambition and haunted by his past. What does this all mean for the future of this world? What kind of leader will he become? And what will be the cost of his ascent to power?
Those are the questions we're left grappling with as the chapter ends, and they're questions that will drive the rest of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've spent the last 2 segments unpacking Chapter 3 of 2035.
Yeah.
And it's been a wild ride.
It has.
We've gone from idyllic beaches to brutal confrontations, all while grappling with the big questions this story throws at us: power, survival, and what it means to be human in a world gone sideways.
It's amazing how a single chapter can pack in so much, right?
Yeah.
And what's striking is how the Appalachian gorilla
Right.
manages to make these larger-than-life scenarios feel incredibly personal.
Yeah.
We see ourselves reflected in the characters.
Right.
Their flaws, their desires, their struggles.
Totally. Like, even though we're dealing with a futuristic setting, societal collapse.
Right.
Hints of advanced tech.
Yeah,
The core of the story is about human relationships.
it is.
Tom and Mike's friendship.
Yeah.
The tension with the mayor.
Mhm.
Even Tom's interactions with George.
Right.
They all tap into these universal themes of trust, betrayal, and the battle between ambition and compassion.
It's like the author is holding up a magnifying glass
Yeah.
to those aspects of human nature
Right.
that get amplified when the rules of society break down.
Right.
Do we cling to our values?
Yeah.
Do we compromise to survive?
Mhm.
Or do we, like Tom, seek to reshape the world in our own image?
And that's the big question hanging over this whole chapter, isn't it?
It is.
What kind of leader will Tom become? He's got this clear vision for control,
Right.
but the path he's chosen is paved with violence and manipulation.
It is.
Is that sustainable?
That's a great question.
Can you build a new world on a foundation of fear and dominance?
It's a question that has plagued humanity for centuries.
Right.
History is full of leaders who rose to power through force, promising order and stability,
Yeah.
but often delivering tyranny and oppression.
Yeah.
The challenge for Tom,
Right.
and for any leader in such a situation, is to balance the need for control
Right.
with the preservation of humanity,
Yeah.
both for themselves and for those they seek to rule.
It's a tightrope walk, and he's already taken a few stumbles.
Yeah.
He's alienated the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
potentially jeopardized his friendship with Mike.
Yeah.
Now he's got these shadowy figures from his past,
Yeah.
possibly tied to Elon Musk, lurking in the background.
Right.
It feels like the walls are closing in.
There's definitely a sense of impending doom, a feeling that Tom's ambition has put him on a collision course
Right.
with forces he may not fully understand.
Yeah.
And the choices he makes from this point on will
Right.
have far-reaching consequences,
Yeah.
not just for himself, but for the entire community.
It's like he's standing at a crossroads.
Yeah.
And every path forward leads to a different kind of sacrifice.
It does.
He can cling to power through force,
Mm-hmm.
but at the risk of becoming the very tyrant he sought to overthrow.
Right.
He can try to forge alliances,
Yeah.
but that requires trust and compromise, something he's not exactly known for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or, and this is a long shot,
Yeah.
he can try to find a way to rebuild society without repeating the mistakes of the past, but that requires a level of self-awareness and restraint that we haven't really seen from him yet.
And that's what makes this chapter so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not a simple tale of good versus evil,
Right.
hero versus villain.
Yeah.
It's a nuanced exploration of human nature. The complexities of leadership
Right.
and the messy realities of rebuilding a shattered world.
Right.
The Appalachian gorilla doesn't offer easy answers,
No.
but instead invites us to grapple with these questions alongside the characters,
Yeah.
to confront our own biases,
Right.
and to consider the potential consequences of our own choices.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
And one that resonates deeply in our own time.
Yeah.
We're facing our own set of challenges.
Right.
Climate change, political instability, technological disruption.
Yeah.
And the decisions we make now will shape the course of human history for generations to come.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of fiction.
Yeah.
It allows us to explore these complex themes in a safe space.
Yeah.
To experiment with different scenarios.
Right.
And to learn from the mistakes of others, even if those others are fictional characters.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into 2035, I'm left with one final thought. The world the Appalachian gorilla has created is both terrifying and alluring.
It is.
It's a world teetering on the brink.
Right.
A world where the old rules have been shattered
Yeah.
and the future is up for grabs.
Yeah.
And the question that lingers is this. What choices would we make if we found ourselves standing in Tom's shoes?
Yeah.
Would we seek power?
Yeah.
Would we strive for unity? Or would we simply fight to survive, hoping to carve out a small sliver of peace amidst the chaos?
That's the question we all have to answer,
Yeah.
both in the context of this story and in our own lives.
Right.
Because the choices we make individually and collectively will determine the course of our own future.
Right.
And just like in 2035, the consequences of those choices will reverberate for generations to come.
This deep dive has been a whirlwind of emotions, excitement, fear, hope, despair.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to the power of storytelling.
It is.
The Appalachian gorilla has given us a glimpse into a possible future.
Totally.
A future that's both cautionary and inspiring. And it's up to us to decide what lessons we take from it, what choices we make, and what kind of world we want to create.
Right.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Until next time,
Okay.
keep exploring,
All right.
keep questioning,
Yeah.
and keep diving deep.